it looks like more cities are passing the rent moratoriums, or attempting to pass rent moratoriums, I should say. Earlier today, we covered Atlanta. Atlanta's mayor proposed a rent moratorium. And now Chicago, according to Block Club Chicago, they're also proposing a rent moratorium. Could be very perilous for landlords. And so coming out of Chicago, Block Club Chicago is their publication. And they're saying Chicago should pause evictions as ICE raids continue. Housing advocates say some tenants are falling behind on rent as they stay home in the face of ICE operations as the last line of defense. Being at home is the safest place to be, unquestionably, they say. That's what one of the housing organizers says. This is 7 hours ago. Tenant groups are calling on leaders to institute an eviction moratorium while federal immigration officials continue to target Chicagoans in their latest operation. The All Chicago Tenants Alliance and other tenants unions are saying workers, many of them Hispanic or Latino, are losing wages and falling behind on rent due to widespread fear surrounding the heavy presence of immigration and customs enforcement agents across the city. They've said if evicted, they could be at even more risk of being targeted by federal officials, organizers said. And that's just Chicago there. You can see other headlines from Crane, Chicago business is probably behind a paywall here. And we take a look. And again, this is Chicago. And it is behind a paywall. But I also noticed that Los Angeles, they also have the residents there are pushing for a moratorium as well. A moratorium against ICE, and here's a Jacobin magazine. I'm fairly familiar with this magazine. I've seen it in Brooklyn before. The Jacobin magazine is calling for an eviction moratorium. Again, similar reasons against ICE. So in Atlanta, it was the food stamp SNAP disruption. In LA and Chicago, they're passing these for ICE officials. So that's very interesting there. And so LA officials call for moratorium. LA Tenants Union calls for eviction moratorium amid mass immigration enforcement operations. The LA Tenants Union is calling on city officials to impose a rent moratorium as ongoing enforcement operations continue to spread fear throughout the region. So you're seeing some of the similar rhetoric during a news conference on Tuesday. Representatives of the LA Tenants Union claimed that the presence of officers from ICE has had a noticeable impact on businesses as many employees are scared to go to work. While operations continue, many of the self-employed immigrants have decided to stay home amid the ongoing situation here. So they are like resorting back to like COVID-like rules and banning evictions because of in Chicago and LA is the ICE raids, and in Atlanta they're blaming the SNAP shutdown. And so in all of these liberal cities, they're finding reasons to allow the tenants to live rent-free, no consequences of water bills, etc. All the while they're loading up the benefit cards with extra benefits from GoPuff and DoorDash. Once again, if you see some of these things in your city, feel free to drop a comment in the chat. Be interested to hear more about this as these things develop. I'm assuming that other liberal cities will roll out other measures to protect their residents, particularly in cities where heavily immigrant populations. Once again, I am John Galt, the urban landlord. Thank you for joining. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe.